Today, I'm here to make a bold statement. I believe that the subgenre of Indiewood film is the future of American cinema. Now, why do I claim this ludicrous, outlandish assertion? Well, dear viewer, you're about to find out. Let's delve into some history first. Back in the later days of the old Hollywood film era, major film studios were losing steam. They were forking out millions to produce over-the-top, flashy films that lacked substance. A popular example of this is the 1963 Cleopatra. Around this time, some of who we know today as iconic, beloved directors such as Coppola, Spielberg, and Scorsese were of the first graduating from film school. Out of ideas, the major film studios threw a few $1 million at young filmmakers like them to see what they could make, thus the creation of the auteur period, also known as the Age of New American Cinema. This short-lived era, roughly spanning from 1967 to 69, favored low-budget, high-profit films such as The Graduate and Bonnie and Clyde. These films did so well in the box office because of their grittier feel and sense of ambiguity. New American films were atypical and creative. They expressed complex emotions and concepts that old Hollywood films were unable to. With the beginning of New American cinema also came the auteur theory, which is the notion that the director of a film is the author of that film, more so than the screenwriter. Under the auteur theory, the film is an extension of the director's artistic vision, meaning that over time a viewer can recognize a certain director's film by their personal artistic stamp. An example of an auteur in modern time would be your Wes Anderson or your Edgar Wright. In short, New American cinema breathed new life into American film, if only for a limited period of time. So let's fast forward about 35 years. In the mid-2000s, roughly a decade after the conception of independent cinema came a subcategory of the genre coined Indiewood. This subgenre is seen as the love child of independent and Hollywood film. Indiewood films like Juno and Little Miss Sunshine came about when major studios, as put by author of Indiewood USA Jeff King, created their own subsidiaries. 20th Century Fox made Fox Searchlight Pictures, Sony made Sony Pictures Classic, Paramount made Paramount Classics, now known as Paramount Vantage. You get the point. Basically, the big studios saw the opportunity to make more money and created subsidiaries specifically aimed at smaller budget projects to do so. Surprisingly, the creation of these subsidiaries ended up working out for the filmmakers too, with a healthy amount of creative freedom they were given. So where are we now? Modern day, large budget American films tend to be, put simply, underwhelming. We are in a slump of remakes and sequels and prequels and adaptations and recycled stereotypes. Aside from the occasional out-of-the-box hit, big-budget filmmaking today just seems unoriginal and tired. And here's where the brief history lesson comes in. Where American film is currently is where old Hollywood was back in the early 60s. We are in desperate need of a change. History loves to repeat itself, and based on the dramatic shift in tone of American film in the 60s, we are headed towards a similar occurrence. What New American was to old Hollywood is what Indiewood will be to our current era. I say this for 3 reasons. First off, Indiewood films are to the benefit of major studios because of their favorable profit-to-cost ratio. Let's take Juno for example. It was produced with a relatively low budget of $6.5 million and had a total worldwide gross of over $231 million, making 35 times more than its cost. Films within the genre further aid major studios by giving them the opportunity to both branch out in the style of films they produce and give their actors with existing reputations the chance at more challenging, uncommon roles. King uses the example of Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind to prove this point. Secondly, films that fall into the Indiewood subgenre benefit the creator. Indiewood cinema mirrors New American cinema in the way that it, in the words of King, signifies an upsurge of more creative filmmaking that has found space inside or on the edge of the Hollywood system. The genre is providing a space for new auteurs to leave their mark on American film. Lastly, and most importantly, Indiewood films are beneficial to the viewer. Because of the upsurge of creative liberty the genre allows its filmmakers, viewers get to consume more inventive and imaginative films that offer something to think about. At the same time, Indiewood films remain palpable enough that they can be marketed in a more traditional Hollywood style, yet another benefit to the major studios. The original draw of Indiewood's mother genre, independent cinema, was the raw and unembellished portrayal of real-life problems. That being said, there are a number of independent films that push the envelope just a bit too much for the viewing of the general public. Indiewood film still offers the fresh perspectives on social and political issues like independent film does, while also maintaining its viewer-friendly quality. A genre with so much merit for not only the filmgoers but the filmmakers and production studios as well is one that has the ability to dominate the industry in our current state. It's this rationale that leads me to believe that Indiewood must be the coming change of American cinema.